trap and hunt missions are now easier. And a new creature is coming. But is it for Lost Island? You're right kids, it's Ross Clark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So the big news first, of course, we are going to have another wave of voting for a creature. Yes, it's happening.
Here we go again.
No, we're not going to get the number 2 spot that was in the vote. We're going to vote again. We're going to go through this process again. Or are we? Hopefully lessons will have been learned and we can do this a bit better this time round. In the community crunch last night, it was announced that the devs had such fun with the voting process that they want to do it again. And it was, yes, I guess, having that interaction, having the community able to bring in a creature that they want more than anything is a big thing, especially for ARK. Unprecedented to have a community voted creature in the game. But it wasn't without a lot of drama. So I just hope we can get that right balance correct this time. And a few suggestions have been put out there and I'll have a look at those in just a moment. The big question is it the third and final dinosaur for Lost Island? Of course, 3 being the number of dinosaurs we're going to see with this map. Well, apparently, possibly it's not. So first, the words that were said were, if you missed your chance to participate in the creature submission process, you haven't lost your opportunity. We'll be opening up the entire process, submission of ideas, upvoting of ideas, narrowing to a top 10, and commencing a final vote later this year for a creature that will be added to the game. And rewind to that, later this year. So Lost Island is meant to be coming out later this year. Of course, we don't know exactly when just yet. We've all got suspicions it might be September, October time. We're hoping anyway. But either way, I think a dinosaur vote that late can't be related to this third and final dinosaur for Lost Island. And there's something else out there that backs this up. Nakatus, you know him. I've spoken about Nakatus quite a bit now. Of course, the owner of Fjorda and made Valguera as well, put a question out saying later this year. I thought Lost Island should be released later this year. Said our community manager replied with, we can't do a creature submission process and release Lost Island, hinting that these are certainly 2 very different things in this instance. And the question was repeated again. So is this next creature vote the 3rd creature for Lost Island? Or is there now 4 new creatures? And said replied, this doesn't have to be for Lost Island, does it? Confirming that concern over later this year that this probably isn't for Lost Island. If you don't know, they've already said there's going to be a second map after Lost Island. What that is, we don't know yet. I've got some assumptions that it might be Fjorda, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. So this, whilst not completely confirmed, at least for me, makes me believe we aren't going to see this vote until after Lost Island for that new map, whatever that new map is going to be. And how do you feel about that? I know personally, I was hoping that they might consider the Carcharodontosaurus with it being so close in the number 2 spot. But it seems like they're resetting everything, making us all start from fresh again, and that's it. I'm really interested to hear what you think about repeating this process again, or do you think we should have just gone for the number 2 spot? But some great suggestions came out from Up From The Depths, who of course suggested the Dinopithecus and won the vote, and we had him on for an interview last weekend. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see that. And he suggested a few things to make submissions anonymous, make it a bracket elimination tournament, and hide the vote numbers. All great suggestions, especially the latter. I think when we encounter scenarios such as this where there's 2 clear winners, people give up on voting for the lesser voted ones, thinking they're never going to win, and just go for one of the more most voted options. Now, I appreciate that might raise some concern from some people saying it was a fixed vote, that they couldn't see the vote, and perhaps there's a way to prove that afterwards. But I'm with Up From The Depths. I think an anonymous vote would be a great idea to keep people in the dark on who is actually in the front running position to win and be the next community voted creature. We're there again. Oh! And what do you think it should be, and are you going to get involved this time round? Pop a comment below, let me know. So we had some huge patches to PC, Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox and PlayStation, of course, getting all of the stuff that we've been through before, and if you missed those patch notes, I'll leave a link in the description. But they got as well the stuff that came to PC yesterday, but they got as well most of the stuff that came out with the newest PC patch as well, meaning we're almost in sync across all platforms. It's never been seen before, I don't think it has. But the newest patches that have come down to fix some things in your life are exploits, bugs that prevented players from repairing items in Dino inventories that functioned as a smithy, fixed a bug that caused the charged lantern to lose quality when placed and picked up, a bug that prevented some boss flags from being placed, some voiceover bugs, some PvE exploits, some incorrect spawns with a summoner, some areas that prevented the Mega Shalom from building, some client stalls aka crashes when using the tech incubator, a bug which could cause items to be lost in the loadout mannequin when using a non-survivor Dermis, a bug where players were being killed when entering a mission mounted from a stego, a bug where some explorer notes would repeat themselves on unlock, reworked the Shadow Main leap so it works better on servers with low frame rate, and fixed a bug where it would jump too far. Damn it, I loved the super jump. It was so fun. We removed some redundant options in metal elevator platform multi-use wheel, text rider beds are now named after the text rider itself, and made some balance tweaks to trap and hunt missions to reduce overall difficulty. Oh, that's a good thing. I don't know if you've been keeping up with my Let's Play, but the trap and hunt missions are solid. Especially the Bulb Dog one, I actually gained grey hairs over that mission that I still didn't complete, and I'm going to go back to now following this patch, and hopefully it is going to be a lot easier to do. I really hope so. That mission was just ridiculous. So fingers crossed, and if you've done any of the trap or hunt missions recently since this patch, drop a comment below, let me know, was it easier to do? Are you getting some super loot now as a result, as I found out in yesterday's video? No Evo event, I'm afraid, this weekend, folks. But Dolly, the product manager, did say some of you aren't happy, but our servers are with the better performance. There was a shout out to Syntac and his Nordic adventure, entering, of course, Fjorda, the mod map, with his first episode here linked. And of course, I've linked it myself. Go watch it. Great episode. And me, I'm on the community crunch. This is weird, me reporting about myself. But it's very cool. I'm very honoured. Thank you very much, Wildcard. It's really awesome to be a part of the community crunch. Thank you. Some, once again, wonderful fan art that doesn't get enough credit. It really doesn't. The time and effort spent into all of this fan art, I certainly can't even comprehend. It's ridiculous. And a big round of applause for not only the people that are in this community crunch, but anybody who spend the time on doing art for ARK, for a game they love. Some very cool in-game screenshots from Saris Rainbows, Shakal1 and Stam Stimo. Some, once again, wonderful entries, and as mentioned, I will certainly link Syntax video in the description, but you've probably already watched that before you've seen this. So it's shoutout time, but this time it's quite an interesting shoutout because it's going to a server cluster that you may know very well, but it's more about the mod they've made. MTS has been around for almost as long as ARK has, the unofficial cluster that is seen as the official unofficial cluster that draws in a lot of players with some great unique events across all platforms and is certainly uncontested for the most part. Well, they've got a new server wipe coming out, and not without a very cool mod. Called PvP map extensions, what they've done is they've spent the time and effort into looking at all of those crouch caves, all of those really hard caves to raid, and changed them to make them a lot easier, or balanced, not easier, to make it a fair PvP fight. So for instance, the hard snow cave at the island, where of course it has that terrible crouch point, making it a pretty difficult place to raid. They've done away with that and created a new open entrance that is now accessible and raidable. And you'll find this for every single cave that has a crouch point. They've gone through them and made sure none of these caves are almost impossible to raid. They've made them very balanced, to the point they've not just patched the harder caves, they've actually looked at the caves that are too easy to raid and patched them to make them a bit more balanced, a bit more worthwhile to build in. And it really is a fantastic mod because so many people build in caves now. It needed to be addressed somehow, a good way to balance PvP, and I think this is a great way to do it. If people are going to stay in caves, great, but let's make those caves just a bit more balanced, and I do really hope Wildcard take notice of this. Every single worthwhile PvP cave seems to have been looked at delicately to make sure it's balanced correctly. Of course, this is only on Steam with a mod for each map, but if you're playing on MTS on Steam, you should automatically download these mods yourself. But if you want to check out these mods for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description as well as a Discord link to MTS. And that's it, that completes the news today. What did you think? Comment below, let me know. What is the new dinosaur going to be? Oh, we're back here again. Hopefully with a lot less controversy, we'll have to wait and see. Though I do think the Carcharodontosaurus should have been given some attention, being so close. But a vote is a vote after all. Thanks all for watching. My name's Ras Clark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.